Welcome back, class. On today's pod, we are joined by Nicholas Keating Casbarro, author of the Vitalerium Universe, who's here to discuss his book series and Muppet Terminators. All this and more in a Vitalerium Unlocked, the philosophy of sci-fi and the art of Muppet Mashup episode of the Fandalorians, teachers by day, nerds by night.
That is the bell. Class is in session. Welcome to the Fandalorians podcast, teachers by day, nerds by night. We continue to be the #1 pop culture podcast by public school teachers. Each and every week, we bring you the latest entertainment news, reviews, and debates, sometimes with a guest. We're proud members of the Unfiltered Studios podcasting network. Lifelong friendships. We get banter, fun, trash talk. Guys, we're having a good time. We're having a good time each and every week. Well, every other week. Once in a while. Email us at the fandaloriansmailbag@gmail.com and you can text us 631-494-3632. We get new listeners all the time. Allow me to introduce ourselves. My name is Mr. Richardson, 4th grade teacher and the man who has established a new motto in life. McDonald, Mr. G, Nick, our guest. I have a new motto, a new way I'm just going to approach life.
Wait, you have a mantra? You have to share it. What is it?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. No, it's what would 50 do? I've established the mantra.
Oh, it's a level of spite. I love this.
And I'm going to tell you right now.
Are you going to talk about why he did the interview with ABC?
Okay, that's one thing, which is because he can only see it in prison. Listen, you guys know me. I'm more or less been on that path for a while, and you've had to rein me in numerous times. Actually, both of you, but. I won't go into too much detail because it's at work, but I'm going to text you later. And Nick, I'm going to text you later too. But something happened and I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? What would 50 do? And 50 would just blast in an email pointing out the thing that no one wants to talk about. I'll dig into more details later, but I got people giving me high fives, happy. And I said, what would 50 do? 50 is burning it down. It's a new mantra and I'm almost 50 myself. So it fits. Everything's lining up for me. I've said before, I've in that Charles Barkley phase of life, the 50 Charles Barkley phase of I don't care. It's a good place to be, McDonald and Mr. G. I'm having a good time. My co-teacher, New York City public school teacher, and the man who is just too old for the cold, Mr. McDonald.
Well, and it's funny, when I wrote that, I didn't mean to rhyme, but it is very poetic.
I thought and that ties into the 50 thing, too. I think.
Yeah, I guess so. No, because what happened is, honestly, I took a day off of work just because it was too cold. I was like, I don't want to have to commute. So I just said, forget it. And look, I had the best day off ever.
And my other co-teacher, a man who has finished yet another book, Mr. J.
Actually, I have not finished a book since our last podcast.
A man who has not yet finished another book.
This is literally the first time. Been cramming it in. I am 60% of the way through the first book of the Vitalerium.
Oh, I see. You spread yourself too thin. You're at you're reading several books at the same time.
I had to stop listening to one book, and then I abandoned the book. That was part of the reason. Is I started listening to a book, and then I just wasn't feeling it. And then I got the book club has a new book, so then I was started that, and then got this. So then I've been just listening to this.
Joining us is the author of the book Mr. G is reading. This is, oh my God.
This is a first for us.
Yeah, because it's never happened. So I'm stumbling over how to present it. Listen, he's here. Nicholas Keating Casbarro. Am I saying it right? No.
Say it again. Start over.
What's the last name?
Casbarro.
You got it.
I got it right.
No, but just don't pause.
I was going to edit it. Yeah. All right, listen. It's Nicholas. We call him Nick. Keating Casbarro. He's here. He wrote a book. We have a couple things to talk about, but first, before we get to a little bit more about your book, what are you nerdy about? Teachers by day, nerds by night. What are you nerdy about other than obviously your book?
Anything sci-fi. I've been a sci-fi fan since I was a kid.
So what made you fall in love with sci-fi?
I probably started with Star Wars. I was like
It's always one of the two seminal movies, Star Trek, Star Wars. Yeah.
I liked Star Trek too, but Star Wars was probably where I started. It's because my father had the VHSs. He had the first original trilogy, and I used to watch them with him. And then I used to wake up early in the morning when he was, sleeping in on the weekends, and I'd go downstairs and I'd pop one into the VHS player, and I'd start watching it myself. So I used to rewatch those all the time. And then, I kind of graduated from there. He actually gave me his copy of Dune when I was like 13. And I read that and really, really enjoyed that, surprisingly. That's a dense book at times. Frank Herbert was probably one of the bigger inspirations in sci-fi. I write in the omniscient perspective, kind of like Frank Herbert wrote Dune, although I try and ascribe a reason to why I'm writing in the omniscient perspective. And you won't discover what that is until very, very late in the book.
Past
At like 89%.
Right. We need the percentage where this will occur. We don't need the page number.
It's like 99%.
Oh, there it is, Mr. G. It's coming for you. Teachers by day, nerds by night. We did the nerds part. Who was your favorite teacher or teachers growing up?
I had a few. One of my teachers, all for different reasons. I guess I'll start in order of kind of how I was introduced to them. So I went to a Catholic high school, and my theology teacher, when I was it was my freshman year, his name was Mr. Gambardella. He was the man. He's since passed. He was the man. And he said something in one of the classes, and, I'm not particularly religious, I'm agnostic, I guess you would call it. But one of the things that he discussed was that we teach you to find the religious truths between the lines of text. What's it trying to tell you? Like, what's the message that you want to walk away from with this? And I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought that was important. And all around, he was just.
Does that influence how you write?
In a way, I would say certainly. In terms of my respect for things like philosophy, shout out to my philosophy teacher in high school as well, Mr. Barry. He was awesome. Very interesting guy. He looked imagine a philosophy teacher. That's what he looked like. He was really cool. And I love just doing a little bit of mental gymnastics from time to time. The whole book is laden with different philosophical tones, throughout that you kind of get to explore in the advanced society. You get to explore in terms of the human condition, in terms of some of the characters that you're following. And then I had a history teacher named Mr. Brennan. He was fantastic. He was also my track coach. And so his class was a lot of fun. I was a pole vaulter in high school, and I went and did that subsequently in college. He was a lot of fun to have in front of the classroom when he was also your track coach. He was a great guy, made history really fun, kind of gave me an appreciation for that.
Well, history is the best subject.
You're a little biased there, Mr. McDonald.
Yeah.
You don't know, and those listeners who don't know, Mr. McDonald is a social studies teacher. How many years have you been teaching, man?
This is year 18.
Yeah, teaching, and so he's biased completely.
It's also true.
Okay, all right. What are we doing? Debating.
This is what I tell people all the time. There's a history channel. There's not a math channel.
You know what? That's a great point. You can't argue with that one.
Another teacher that I really enjoyed was my English teacher, Mr. Clark. And he really dove deep into a lot of like the heavy classical literature. I believe I read 1984 and A Brave New World in his class. And, once again, right up my alley, the kind of the dystopian classics. That gave me a love for that. And then finally, I know I'm kind of rattling off teachers like crazy here.
We don't care. Not us.
But I had a teacher named Miss Danforth. And that was the only college level course I took in high school. The only AP course I took was creative writing. So funny how that kind of turned out, but she was tough, and she would rip your short story or whatever assignment was apart if it wasn't up to snuff. And she really she gave a lot of like creative freedom, but she was harsh when it came to like, making sure it was plotted out correctly, that the grammar was good. I got torn apart in that class a few times. And
Do you
I
think
respect her
that
for it.
even today she uses you as an example? She's like, I'm so hard on you kids because I create guys that write books.
Right. And your pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
I would 1,000%.
Do you want to be like Nicholas? Then do what I say.
Get it done.
Well, it's funny. I was back for Thanksgiving, and I actually went to go visit my high school because they had a what was it, like an alumni event?
Okay.
And she's not there anymore. I was trying to see her, and she wasn't there. So it's a shame. I haven't connected with her in a very long time.
You wanted to go rub that in her face.
Well, joining us
I
right
told
now,
you I'd be
come on
something.
out.
I would be something.
And I'm going to give you 14, maybe 13, maybe 12% of the credit. But I turned into something. Listen, we're a product of our life experiences, and your experience have really shaped you into how you turned out. That's great, though. It's great to hear.
She definitely wouldn't have liked the first draft of my book because the proofreaders tore that up. Some things don't change.
One of the last books I finished reading, she says that she doesn't let anybody read. She's like, I won't even let my husband read my first draft because I know it's trash.
Yeah. First draft's always terrible. No, 100%. I wrote that crazy email today, and I'm telling you, the first version of it was a nightmare. It was version 6 that I sent out. Like, the first versions are always terrible. And before we move on to something else, tell us a little bit about your book, the title, little details, just a little bit about it. We'll
tell us why you're here.
Yeah, tell us why you're here. Why would you come visit us? You clearly love teachers, but why did you visit us today?
I'm here because absolutely, I love teachers. I am here because I'm basically building a brand new sci-fi franchise from the ground up. Brand new IP. I started with books because it was the best way for me to flesh out ideas in long form. And it kind of came out of nowhere, but I just enjoyed the process. It kind of happened on a whim. I started writing this book when I was at my last company, which had me on a plane 3 to 5 days a week. So that's a lot of plane time, and eventually you run out of things to watch on Netflix. So I started designating my plane time to writing, and basically this whole book was written on a plane. But the book is called Vitalerium Descent into the Void. It's book 1 of 7 that I have planned with my publisher right now. You are basically going for a ride on a far future spacefaring odyssey. You follow humanity after we become multiplanetary, and it's all thanks to the discovery of an exotic new material that allows for faster than light travel. Essentially acts as the fuel source for an Alcubierre drive. We fast forward 700 years, we've colonized new planets, we've begun exploring the cosmos, and we've even fractured our ties and gone to war with each other on a planetary scale. Or on a multiplanetary scale, I should say. But 700 years in the future, you get dropped into the front seat of Roman Matthews, who is definitely a morally gray protagonist. He is doing odd jobs for local gangs when you first meet him as an adult. He's lived a hard life that is it's just been penned by trauma and loss, and it's created kind of a very hardened individual. Well, he takes a job that ultimately embroils him in a massive conspiracy, which has the totalitarian government of his planet hunting him. And so he's got to band together with kind of a motley crew of allies, both in the underworld and in the public eye, to be able to survive the ordeal. And that's just book 1. So.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay. All right, Nick, thank you for joining us. We have so much to get to. We have some questions about the book. I know Mr. G, I'm sure, has some questions. Not that you've already asked some that we've deleted. And we're going to get into...
I'm going to delete that too.
Yeah. Sure. All right. But first, 60th anniversary of the Muppets, little Muppet Madness. We're going to call a building meeting, gather the team, and have a little fun with the Muppets.
Come on down to the building meeting. Come on down today. There's many things to talk about. Yes, you have to stay. Urgent things to discuss. So lose that face of disgust. No, this couldn't be an email. So come on down today. Building meeting today. Oh yeah, it's the building meeting today.
Okay, back for the building meeting. Nick is still here. It is the 60th anniversary of the Muppets. This is part 3 of our continuing Muppet Madness segment. What we're doing, if you're just joining us, is, again, because of the 60th anniversary of the Muppets, we took different genres to come up with a movie that would be cool if it was Muppetified. Mr. G coined that term. We're trying to trademark it. We'll see if we can make that work. Our part 1, we did. What was part 1, guys? I don't know. Comedies. We did comedies. Police Academy was on the table. That was enjoyed. I still a fan. I've told people work about that one. Hangover. We had a lot of fun with the part 1. Part 2 was action movies. Part 3 is kind of almost we weren't planning it. Kind of a spin-off of the action movies. But with Nick here today, we decided
It's a strong pivot.
Yeah, it's a strong pivot. I like it. Let's take some sci-fi films that we can redo as a Muppet movie. Rules are always the same. You have to kind of name which character would stay human. Obviously, in the movie, and maybe a couple of casting choices and little. You don't have to go too deep into it. We'll see how it goes. Spitballing ideas, just having a fun conversation, just throwing them out there. If you have 2, you have 3, you have 1, whatever. Eventually, compile this all together and do something with it later on.
Now, Mr. Richardson and Mr. G, we're going to have to be careful because the line between an action movie and a sci-fi movie is sometimes very, very thin. We are allowed to kind of push back to be like, nah, that's more action than sci-fi. But, we're all friends here. We'll figure it out.
I mean, Die Hard's a sci-fi movie, and I'll stand on that. But that's not my first pick.
No, it's not.
Listen,
Ready? I'll give you an
sci-fi
example.
movie.
I'm gonna. We can.
So hold on. Ready? I'm going to give you an example.
But it is
of
a
movie.
Christmas movie.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Music. There's a moment.
I'm going to give you guys an example of a movie, and I want you to tell me whether or not you think this is actually sci-fi. You ready?
The plans, but I'm in. Go.
The Truman Show.
I mean, isn't in my definition of sci-fi?
I don't think it's
like
sci-fi.
Advanced science is as somewhat a part.
That is
of that.
Remember, they have the guy in the giant dome, and they film his entire life. And so
They
it
can
was
pull
just
that
something
off
I was
now.
thinking about that I was like, does that count as sci-fi?
I'll tell you
No.
what does, and I will argue this one, and this is my first choice. I'm going to throw it out here since we're going to start this right now because I'm making us start it. I want to see Back to the Future with Muppets. I see Back to the Future as sci-fi. It's a time machine. What are we doing? But we're going to go back in time. So I'm still torn.
Who's the human character?
Because you know what? I love Michael J. Fox. Can Michael J. Fox, because Bunsen, whatever his name is, I forget it.
Yeah.
Can still be
Bunsen.
Doc. You can make that work.
Like the burner.
I love young Michael J. Fox, and I just don't want to touch that. So I'm going to keep Michael J. Fox. And seeing him in the beginning of the movie with the family at the table, and they're all Muppets and they're chaotic. It was already chaotic with humans. It fits. He goes back in time, and Kermit's suddenly even geekier.
His dad is
whatever.
Kermit, and his mom is Miss Piggy.
Yeah. We could just have fun with that. I would redo it. I think it's funny. We're gonna keep the time 90s to 50s. I understand 30 years ago, like we were in high school, whatever. But I'm gonna offer Back to the Future. Have it Muppified.
What I think would be even funnier is if you do it today. So it's 2025, and he sets the time machine to go back to 1995.
Right. He's trying to warn Tupac and Biggie.
No, and he's out there, and Batman Forever is in theaters, and it's just very 90s. They're listening to Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when we 2 weeks ago, we talked about the fact that I did a deep dive into I rewatched every 90s kind of coming of age rom-com. And that was the thing that I was just like, I love the soundtrack of every movie. Just brings you back.
That's because we're old.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
sci-fi.
All right.
Nick, we'll let you go second. You got one for us?
Yeah, kind of in keeping with the sci-fi theme, I cast the movie of Dune with Muppet characters.
I like this. Let's see what you got.
All right.
There's plenty of characters to be muppified in this.
I know
one.
you wrote down a few. You have
Oh,
some,
yeah.
right?
All right.
I
That's
did.
what
I
you
had to
got.
plan this one out. There's a lot of characters to keep to keep
Okay.
straight. So I've got Paul Atreides as human.
Okay.
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 Would you have?
You want it
Would
to
you
be
have?
Chalamet? Yeah.
What's his name? Do it again.
Chalamet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Chalamet?
would. I
Okay,
think he
Timothy
did a great
Chalamet.
job.
All right, but you know what
I-
though? He's the kind of guy I think would totally work in any Muppet movie.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
I
people.
totally
He has enough
agree.
personality and he
Yeah.
knows to have
Yeah.
fun
He can
with
do
it. He would be good with a Muppet movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Friend of the podcast, I'm sure.
Nick fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes, and then
then-
Nick fan, 100%.
so his mother, Lady Jessica, I have as Miss Piggy
Mhm.
Okay.
because I think that's funny to me
Yeah.
for a Muppet to have a human son.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how Back to the
Uh,
Future would work too. Yeah, it's funny.
Duke Leto Atreides, the father, the leader of the Atreides clan, is Kermit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Naturally.
That's
And
good.
then I've got Baron Harkonnen.
Okay.
So
Like the bad
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fat one.
The fat one in the tub.
Yes.
Got it.
I have as the Swedish chef.
Oh, I love it. That's what I was going to say. That was
That's a great poll.
Because
and everyone understands him except for us. So when he
Yeah.
goes like 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, they're like, okay, I'll go kill him.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. Which is funny because in the movie, I forget the actor's name. He's very
Yeah.
popular actor.
Oh, it's
I
one
could
of the
see his
Michaelsons.
face.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the father. I forget his
So he's
name.
actually, which is funny because he's actually a Nordic guy too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and in the in the movie, he kind of talks like under his breath, like this. Like if he's not like mad,
Very breathy.
he's very breathy. So I feel like the no one in the audience can understand him actually kind of fits. And then let's see what else. I've got Chani. I also have as human. She's the Fremen love interest of Paul Atreides.
Zendaya.
Zendaya's character.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
her Zendaya. She's also very popular.
Yeah, why not?
Or no, you have who is the girl in the Electric Mayhem with the long blonde hair?
Oh, in the band? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
She would be good on that part too, but I'll keep Zendaya though because
Yeah.
I like Zendaya.
Another friend of the podcast, sure.
Yeah.
They all listen.
All right, so Duncan, Idaho, head Atreides warrior. I have as Sam the Eagle.
Ah,
That
Good
just
choice.
seemed fitting in terms of like,
yeah, regal,
The
kind
presence.
of tough, big.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Mr. Richardson had Sam the Eagle
Yeah.
as his Terminator.
Yeah, when we did that. I'm not gonna lie, Sam the Eagle makes a pull, and almost half everyone we've done is like, you know what? Sam. There's a part for Sam the Eagle and everything. Because he does great work. He really does out there. I love it. Good idea.
Underused.
Yeah.
I had to throw him in there.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh,
him.
that's
I was
great.
Like, oh, that goes.
No, it's right there.
Look, this sounds like it would be a super fun watch, and the rule.
Hold
with
on, we
all
got to
the-
get to. I want to know who's the head Freeman person.
All right, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Stilgar.
yeah.
Next up, I've got Gonzo as Stilgar.
Oh,
Mostly
good. He's
because-
a good foil.
Mostly because I want to see Gonzo in like a shredded hood
yeah.
in the desert.
That's on the poster.
Yeah.
Would he have?
Yeah.
Would the other chickens be part of the Fremen?
Of course. Or would the chickens
what?
be the other sisters?
No, I was just gonna say. So, Reverend Mother of the Bene Gesserit is Camilla the chicken.
Nice. Nice.
And she only clucks.
Yeah. And look, there's
Yes.
plenty of parts still out there. We still have Gonzo. We still have Rolf.
No,
he
she said
used Gonzo.
Gonzo.
He just used
Gonzo is
Oh,
the
I mean, not Gonzo. Sorry. We still have
Fozzie.
Rolf. We still have Fozzie. There's a bunch of other parts
Yeah,
out there.
And there's a lot of characters in Dune.
And the
so I
best
think
is,
we're
as
gonna
you
work.
go further and further in these Dune movies, there's going to be parts for every single one of them.
Oh yeah,
We like
I
your
got-
pick.
I got 3 more.
Let's go.
All right.
Because I actually I got Rabin. the guy
David
who's basically
Bustier. Batista. I'm
as
sorry.
Val-
Batista.
Bustier.
Wow. Bustier.
I know. Dave Batista.
Batista. I have him as Ralph the dog.
Okay.
Okay, yes,
There he is. Check.
I love Ralph.
And then Fade Harkonnen, who's like the really nasty Harkonnen who takes over after he gets the boot. I have his Animal.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then, of course, Dr. Wellington, the guy who ends up having to betray the Atreides family because the Harkonnens have his wife, is Beaker.
Wow. Wow, you put a lot of
Yo,
thought
my
into-
follow-up thing is I mean, full disclosure, I sent him the questions. I sent Nick the questions this morning. He followed up some point. You know, I'm at work. I'm dealing with my little thing, so I didn't get to look right away. When I saw it that he wasn't 100% sure with the Muppet thing, I responded. I think you guys saw the email. I responded, and then did you have fun? Like, how did you block out like an hour time? Were you overly focused on this?
Did you miss a
This is
deadline
great.
because of this?
Yeah.
No,
you're
no,
not
no.
hungry. Get something from the fridge. You
It just
throw it in
rolled
there.
off.
Book 2 is not going to come out for another month because he spent all this time working on his Dune
Blame the
Muppet.
Fandalorians, though. Blame them.
No, I had some time this evening. After dinner, I had to go to Google because I'm very visual. I need to see like pictures of everyone,
Yeah.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that helped me. I just had a list of all of the Dune characters on one side and a list of all of the Muppet characters on the other side of my screen here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yes, perfect. Like that'll go.
Great.
So I was just doing the cross.
Thank you. Charles, what do you got over there?
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
Is
Quest
that-
already is kind of like a Muppet show.
It's like the Muppets in Space.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing that I'd have to rewatch Muppets in Space to like hardline put Galaxy Quest. But Galaxy Quest was such a fun movie.
It was so
That-
good. It was so good.
It's hard. Same thing with like Spaceballs. Like
So, here's
it's
the pitch, Mr. G, is the premise of the new Galaxy Quest with Muppets is it's the stars of Muppets from Space being called in to be their characters from Muppets in Space, just like the Galaxy Quest
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, that's
and
the
then
best.
they
Just
get put in
incorporate it all
space.
together.
And then they're not actors. So it's like the same premise. But I don't remember Pigs in Space enough to remember what the actual full premise of that movie was.
Yeah, me either.
It was
So
just
I'd have to like watch the trailer for it again.
All right. Well, I had a couple ideas here that I was kicking around. One is I went for a classic. So I want to see a Muppet version of Frankenstein.
Who is the Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Well, and then now
Screams?
the only human character is the Frankenstein monster,
In makeup.
played by Shaquille O'Neal.
That's perfect.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I really like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, McDonald, that's a good one.
He might be too tall.
No,
Because the Muppet, like, a Muppet is only so
Yeah.
tall.
But that's the idea. He's a monster.
No, this is good. This is good. What else
Because I
is-
was
Oh,
going
right.
for something kind of like Andre the Giant-ish, and I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
who's like the modern equivalent of that? And
Andre
I
the
went for Shaq. He's
Alright.
kind of charming as
And he's
well.
a bigger guy, not like rail thin like Wembley.
Yeah, he'd sell the jokes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
He
yeah,
could- he could have the patchwork of different like body parts and skin.
would be
He could
different
have, like, some-
jerseys.
he could
that
have
he
like
could
some.
wear.
Oh,
A Celtics jersey,
I
a
was
Magic
gonna
say-
jersey,
He
you
was
got
in
a Lakers jersey,
Yeah.
a Phoenix Suns jersey. You know,
Nick, what was
as far
your
as I-
idea?
actually, no,
Nick-
that's funnier. I'll stick with that.
All right, Jimmy, you have any more?
I'm gonna throw
pitches?
one more out there only because as Dick talked about, and you guys know, my gateway into sci-fi was Star Trek. Same reason though, just it wasn't the VHS. I'm obviously older than you, but my dad would watch it. We're from a time where there was one TV, so you watch what your
Reruns on
parents were
Channel
watching,
11.
Watch what your parents were watching. So I sat and watched Star Trek every Monday from 8 to 9 because otherwise I just go to bed. There's nothing to do. There's one TV. So that was my into that. So two things I would like to see. The first, I want to see a movie in the Star Trek universe. I want Captain Picard to be back. I want the whole crew to be Muppets. I want Jean-Luc Picard. I said the Patrick Stewart. I said the actor, but the cast member. I want Patrick Stewart to play himself, yelling at Muppets. Mr. LaForge, and they're all Muppets and everything with the vibe. I just want it. Him being dead serious, similar to the Christmas Carol. he, this guy's a professional stage performer. Him being dead serious, and they're facing the Borg, and the Borg is like with the chickens. I'm just seeing it, and everyone's crazy, but
So
he's
hold on.
acting like it's normal. I need.
So Kermit
Stewart.
is going to play Riker, then I'm assuming,
No, I don't know. I don't feel like I need Kermit right away in this.
or is it our go-to now, Sam the Eagle?
Oh no, who's Dr.
No,
Spock? See, I
Sam's
see
the-
Sam the Eagle as Spock.
Oh yeah, that could work.
That would be a
He's
good
not in
spot.
the Next Generation one, but that would
Or
work.
George
Or-
or Worf?
No, Sam the Eagle is the inevitable moment in Star Trek if you watch it enough when they reach out to Federation, who tells them, "Hey, listen, you guys need to leave."
Oh,
You
like
guys
the
have to leave."
general
Yeah, the general who they okay, and
or
then
the
they hang
admiral,
up
whatever
and
they
they
use
go,
Navy terms. Yeah,
yeah, and then Patrick Stewart says, "Okay,
he's like,
I'm
you
about
guys
to break-
cannot do this.
yeah, I'm about to break a direct order. Would anyone not? We had that moment.
Yeah.
I need Sam the Eagle for that."
Okay, fair enough. I'm all right with that.
And the sci-fi movie person in me, I'm gonna take a sci-fi where I want the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie again, but I'm gonna keep. Oh, you know what? I want Vampire Muppets. I don't really know how I'm gonna do in this yet. I want Vampire Muppets. I don't even know what movie it is. I might not do Buffy. I'll think about it. What else?
Like
you got?
Underworld? Or,
Yeah. I want Vampire Muppets. I want Muppets.
Blade.
Oh, Blade.
Oh my god! Yes, that's it. I want Muppet Blade, and I think we need to keep. No. I want to make Ralph Wesley Snipes because Ralph's black to me because I'm black.
You know,
And
it's not
then-
Ralph. It's Rolf with an O.
We're gonna call him Ralph, and then
He's acting.
The only human. This will be the one we talked about this before on a few episodes ago, Nick. That a lot of the times with these movies, keeping the villain human seems to make it look almost better, and it's just a villain being human.
Because it's hard to make Muppets bad guys.
Yeah. In this situation, though, I'm 100% need the main villain to be human. I'm not sure who's going to play it. It does not matter. But the dogs, the Blade, and oh my gosh, everyone. Kermit's a friend. The Fangs. No, Blade's dealing with vampires on Sesame Street. Sesame Street's been overrun by vampires.
Well,
Everyone's
the
been
Count
turned.
has to come in.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, you guys are making this for me. Yes, the Count.
He's the bad guy.
Stupid. What am I doing? So Muppet. So now.
How many times am I going to kill you? One,
That's great.
two.
Yeah, it writes itself.
Then he dies, and then Blade goes, "Three,"
Yes.
or something. I don't know.
Big
some sort of-
Bird's a Muppet. Oscar's a Muppet. Vampire. Big Bird a Muppet. Oh, it's great. Everyone you grew up with is now a monster, and Blade's killing them. This is
See, in a
wonderful.
similar vein, I also think a Muppet zombie movie would be spectacular as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to save that for horror. I think we'll do like something like that in our kind of other bracket.
Yeah, sci-fi is tough with the Blade
Zombies
thing.
is more zombie is more horror than
No,
sci-fi.
zombie is science fiction to me.
But I feel like it's more horror than sci-fi.
Well, it
Yeah,
depends.
that's
28
science,
days. That's science fiction. Like
Yeah, that
how
is.
did they? But I don't want like a serious one. I want like a Shaun of the Dead kind of comedy zombie.
Yeah,
Good reference. I
Yeah.
love Shaun of the
that's a
Dead.
great one too.
Charlie, I picked a movie that it was a sci-fi movie that kind of started out as a serious movie, but over time is now laughable, and it's kind of turned into a comedy. And so this is the sci-fi movie I want the Muppets to make as well. I want to see the Muppets doing Armageddon.
Oh,
That's a good one.
that's a great one.
Because it's so kind of dopey already, and it's ripe for like you don't
They're
even
the astronauts. They're there doing the drilling.
you don't even have to change the script to
I know.
spoof it. It's just you just have all the Muppets do it like word for word, and it's gonna be a comedy.
I think I would want Ben Affleck though to stay as the human character.
Yeah, that's really like
Yeah.
one human character.
Can we have them point out the absurdity?
Or
of
it
plan?
could be the Bruce Willis character would be the human character.
Well, because
You know
I
who
like
would make a good
I like
Bruce
when the
Willis?
exasperated human is there. What's that?
Do you know who would make a good Bruce Willis?
Oh.
Sam the Eagle.
right,
Oh.
yeah.
And you gotta have
That's
Animal. Animal's
Yeah.
gotta be on there. He's
Animal
gonna be the
will play
crazy
Steve
one.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
And I need
Gonzo for sure.
What's his name? Not Beaker. He was like he wore the glasses. What? I'm
Scooter.
blank. I need Scooter in this entire film to constantly point out just the.
It's like why don't they
flaws.
just train astronauts to drill?
Right. I
You know
need
what?
him to point out the logic flaws, and everyone ignore him. Like, no, we need to send drillers, or we can teach an astronaut how to use that drill.
Because this is tough
Why
because
would-
you have. Yeah.
It's a Muppet movie. I need him to point out the problems.
I feel like
Right.
it could be all Muppets with no humans. Oh, you know who could be the bad guy human? The army
military
guy
guy?
that doesn't
And
want to
Finn.
do it, that
Yeah,
just wants to like nuke the
You
product.
swear on my daughters.
Yeah.
The jerk. He's got the little vice on Kermit. Like,
Yeah.
All right.
Fred.
I have another one as well that I think would work out just as well. It's another beloved sci-fi movie from the 90s that I think would be ripe for a Muppet movie as well. I'm going to go for a Muppet version of Starship Troopers.
Ooh.
I do like
Just
that.
Nice.
just so you could see like the. But I also want Paul Verhoeven to direct it as well, and the
That would be funny.
the same political kind of pseudo-Nazi vein, kind of
Yeah.
making fun of that. And I
Gotta
think,
have Doogie Howser come back. Neil
Yes.
Patrick Harris has to make
and
it
he'd
come
be
back.
the
Oh,
only
absolutely.
human,
Yeah,
because you know he would do it as well.
he would do it. He would do it. He's a friend too. That's good.
He would fit in a Muppet movie for sure.
Yeah,
That's a violent movie, though. There'd be a lot of stuffing flying around in that.
Yeah,
movie.
well,
Yes.
well, that's what you'd have to do. And I feel like that was the funniest thing. You guys watch the Gen V, the Boys spinoff at all?
No, you
Some
told
of
us.
it.
You
Oh,
told
oh,
us
no,
about
yeah.
that
But
part.
in it, what they do is there's a guy and he kills a bunch of people, but he's also hallucinating at the same time, thinking that they're all like Muppets, and so all you see is stuffing in the air. And so you could do it. Anybody else? Because I
Nick,
I
you
have
got,
I got
you
a bunch
got one,
of
Nick? You got another
Nick,
idea?
any other ideas?
For sci-fi,
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot. It just
I know.
Minority Report,
Well, see, I was going to think
a
about that. As well. I
mystery,
do.
a good old
love
Muppet
that movie.
mystery.
Yeah,
we haven't. Yeah, most of ours has been action or like a Muppet type mystery in that world.
yeah.
That's nice.
Based off the
Keep it
Philip K.
true.
Dick novel.
We got to switch Cruise.
Yeah.
out, I think. Are you going to keep Cruise?
No.
Because I think
Cruise is kind of tense for Muppets.
So no, the only person
Yeah.
you'd keep as a human. This is an easy one. You make the bad guy, not the
The
cop
police
that's hunting
chief.
Tom
the
Cruise
one
down.
who's pulling
The-
the,
Yeah, the guy
police
who's in
chief,
charge of the
yeah.
corporation. Spoiler alert for a movie that came out 25 years ago.
We also need to make sure whoever's cast at Tom Cruise can run really well because there has to be a numerous.
Or
running
no,
scene.
you every time that they run, they literally just cut back to Tom Cruise
running.
Put put a Muppet head on top. Just Photoshop it.
Yeah, that man's 60.
Wait, I
Make-
got one more. I got one
Alright.
more of saving it. I think this
Here
would
you
be a really fun one. Also done by Paul Verhoeven, by the way, because you can tell I like a certain type of genre sci-fi. I want a Muppet RoboCop.
Is RoboCop human?
No, that's the boring part. You make his partner the human, and you make RoboCop a Muppet, but it's
Robo Kermit?
yeah,
wanna
it's
do
going to be.
Kermit.
But ready that the actual costume is everything else that's the same,
Of
and
course.
all you see is Kermit's mouth.
Because if you're
I was
doing
gonna say
RoboCop,
if you're in a Muppet world and you've got a human RoboCop, that doesn't seem fair.
no,
Yeah.
no, you gotta have because he's much shorter and everything. But or he could be the. I mean, we could just pivot it this way. Kermit's the only Muppet, and he's just blowing humans away.
And then,
We
oh,
could do that.
well, it's funny. I got to tell you,
He
ever
takes on the
since we
gang, he's like knee high, he's basically like Chucky, and he's just wiping these things out left and right.
ever since we started doing this, I've been practicing my Kermit the Frog voice.
Yeah.
And so I
What is
want to
that?
hear him say, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." I didn't wait. Hold on. Kermit the Frog. Yeah. All right. Okay. I found it. There it is. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. It's also my Patrick Mahomes voice.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's the same thing.
It's
Yeah.
exactly the same first.
All right, I got Jimmy, you got any? Because I just got a quick two that
All right,
we
and
don't
then
got
we
to
gotta
spend
move on,
time on,
yeah.
but we got to fill in the bracket because we got to move
Here we
on.
go. Here we go. Two more.
Fifth Element.
Oh,
And-
That's a good one.
great call.
Big sci-fi movies would have like giant worlds with lots of characters because you could fill all of that with background Muppets just for fun.
And then Mad Max, but Mad Max is animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
That's great. we got some ideas. I know we're going to write them down. We're going to add them to our bracket when we get to it for the 60th anniversary of the Muppets. Nick, thanks so much for participating today. This is a lot of fun. All right,
This
we
has
got
been a
more
lot
to
of fun.
do. We're going to do a little Mad Libs today. We're going to do a Vitalerium. Yeah.
Yep.
Boom. I messed it up earlier. I don't know if that's cut out. Vortex Mad Lib. If you're a teacher, you know about Mad Libs. If you were ever a child, you did Mad Libs. Nick, you're going to give us some words to go along with what I'm about to ask you. Mr. McDonald's going to do some work over there, and he's going to read a Mad Libs that's going to tell our fans about you and how you came up with this book. All right, so give us some words. First of all, I need an adjective.
A describing word.
Yes, no, I know what it is.
I'm sure he's well aware. The author of the book.
I
He's
thought-
well
I
aware
thought
of
you
it.
were- for some reason, I thought you were going to do a jingle, and you went right into it. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, I thought I had 30 seconds to prepare.
Telling the author what an adjective is. That's
dastardly.
Dastardly. Got it. Exclamation, like, holy smokes, but not holy smokes. Something you're just yelling out.
Primes.
I immediately thought spoon. Teacher subject.
History.
Kiss up. You're kissing up to Mr. McDonald, the history teacher. We see what you're doing. A verb ending in ing.
Drooping.
Okay.
A noun, a plural noun.
Planets.
Number 6, a verb past tense.
Died.
A adverb ending in ly.
Shyly.
We're
This is
laughing
gonna be
because we
great.
can kind of see at the bottom, but you can't, so it's fun for us, but not you. But you'll join us soon in the merriment. Body pot.
A
Body
body pot. He
part.
is almost from Boston.
Yeah, I know.
A body pot. What's a body pot?
Listen, normally, we're New Yorkers. We're, anti-Boston with sports and everything, but I like him. Anyway, body part, plural.
Body part, plural.
Yep.
Wisdom teeth.
Wow, that's a great.
I was
Alrighty.
not thinking wisdom.
No,
teeth.
this dude's are right. I'm like legs.
Yeah, very creative.
2 more. A brand of cereal.
Lucky Charms.
Nice.
Oh, you just read my mind. I'm like,
Great
Lucky
choice.
Charms.
Great choice. And
Nice.
celebrity name.
Billie Eilish.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
This is titled The Author's Descent into the Blank. All right, you ready? Nicholas Keating Casbarro conceived of Vitalerium during a moment of dastardly exhaustion. He suddenly shouted, "Primes!" He realized that writing the terrifying void was the only escape from grading history papers. His process is unusual. He always starts his writing session by drooping his planets. One day, while
Sounds
stuck on
so
a
dirty.
while stuck on a plot point, he died so shyly that he actually bruised his wisdom teeth. He fuels his deep dive into the cosmos with nothing but Lucky Charms and the philosophical guidance of Billie Eilish. We thank Mr. Casbarro for navigating the abyss and creating a true piece of Fandalorian literature.
Not bad, man. Not bad.
I haven't done a Mad Libs in about 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So-
That's why we chose.
Fun.
That's why we chose
This
it.
was
Nobody
fun.
has.
No one has. It took us a
Yeah.
minute.
It's a fun school thing to do.
We
Well,
teach,
Nick, if you
for-
come on again,
and-
we're going to play MASH.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Nick, so listen, we want to talk to you a little bit more about your book. We talked about some things early. We have some questions we want to get to and just really dig in a little bit more before we get out of here. Before we get into the story yourself, how did Vitalerium begin for you as a writer? Like, did it start with the world, with Roman, or with the ideas itself? I know you're on the plane going back and forth, but what part of that is where you really started this?
The idea was sparked by kind of a combination of things. So a bunch of ideas that have been brewing around my head for years, some of them stemming back as far as, my high school days. A mix of, this was like right after COVID era that I kind of started writing. And so there was certainly a lot of current events and things coming to light that I could pull from. And just a lot of kind of free time. And then I have some pretty crazy dreams. I experience sleep paralysis on a fairly regular basis. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah.
Enlighten us.
Well, yeah, lighter on listeners though, but yes.
So essentially, it's for me. It always happens like right after a vivid dream. I'll wake up kind of, but my eyes will open. But my eyes are the only thing that I can move. And the rest of my body is completely frozen. And there always seems to be like a shadowy figure, like a silhouette almost somewhere in the room. And I just feel like terror shooting down my spine. And it's weird because it's something that that is a similar phenomenon that anyone who has sleep paralysis on a regular basis experiences. So I don't know what that is, but I've got a lot of weird, vivid dreams, and top it off with that, and I've got some good inspiration to be able to kind of funnel into the book. So I started writing with just kind of a theme that I wanted to write about, just knowing I wanted to write sci-fi, and I wanted to explore kind of the human condition in a far future world. Advanced tech, advanced civilization. What does humanity look like? How do we maintain a relatively modern society in space? And then after that, I got off the plane. The first plane ride when I started writing, I was on a plane from Miami to Hawaii. So it's a long flight.
Wow. It's a long flight.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at the airport, and I'm downloading episodes to a show. I'd been working at this company for about 6 months now. So I basically beat Netflix. I was flying so much. So I'm sitting at the airport downloading episodes to a show that I don't want to watch. And I was like, this is a huge waste of time. And like I said, all of those ideas kind of came together as I was kind of figuring out how to just pass the time on this plane. And I started writing. By the time I got off the plane in Hawaii, I was on chapter 4. It was, mind you, it was rough. Yeah, that was the first time I'd written anything other than a professional email in almost a decade. So it needed a lot of reworking. But from there, I said, all right, well, if I want to take this seriously, I better start planning this out. So what started with me just kind of jotting down the themes that I wanted to discuss ended up turning into this 40-tab monstrosity where I basically spelled out every inch of the universe I was writing about. So the world building really was kind of that was what started, I guess, it turned what was just like a fun little pastime into what I now have, planned for a 7-book series. So, and I even find like if the writing is ever getting slow for me, like I don't really believe in writer's block. I just realized that, all right, I need to go back to the drawing board and I need to start building the world a little bit more because something isn't well defined enough for me to be kind of visualizing it. I'm not seeing, everything that the character has at his disposal. I'm not seeing the environment that he's in. I'm not seeing what obstacles he has to create conflict or, it needs more fleshing out. And so anytime I go back to the drawing board and I come back to the page, it just flows again.
Gotcha. I have a question for you, and you kind of answered one of our questions here. So this is a off the cuff kind of question, but it's about your world building in your story. So one of the things you incorporate a lot into your story is the science fiction part of your story. You have a lot of science-y facts Like you talk about different parts, and there is a lot of talk because there's science fiction where, like, if you think about Star Wars being a science fiction, it's the science fiction of it's space. And okay, it's space, but you actually give a lot of details into some of the science behind what's going on. At any point, did you like have to stop and think about like look up stuff to be like, oh, I kind of really want to incorporate this sort of science aspect into this? I don't want to give away any part of the plot, but in terms of the sciencey parts that you included in your story.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, COVID, that whole era, kind of with all the free time that we all had, it kind of reignited my passion for learning in other realms other than I guess what I was doing for my day job.
Right.
And I kind of reignited my passion for space. I was a space nut when I was a kid. I was the kid with like the telescope and all the different star maps and constellations and everything like that. At space wallpaper. Like I was all about it. And for the longest time, I don't know why, maybe I just never thought it was something that I could get into, or like that I had a future in it. I didn't go that route. And now I'll see a notification for like some new, because I get notifications for this stuff now, like some new scientific breakthrough. And I find like I'm trying to get out there to find the actual white paper so that I can dive in and figure out a little bit more about it. I had to do a lot of research when it came to creating fabric, which is what ultimately replaces the internet, allows for instantaneous communication between planets. I rewrote the beginning, the history portion, a number of times as I continued to do research on basically the Alcubierre drive concept.
Okay.
So physicist Miguel Alcubierre postulated in like 94, I think was when he published the paper, that you could he basically postulated a workaround for the universal speed limit of the speed of light. And he said, well, if we can create a sort of engine or a drive that would allow us to condense space in front of us and elongate it behind us, essentially moving through almost like a vacuum, we could far surpass the speed of light. And then all of these, far distant planets would seem a lot closer. If you do some real deep diving, if you go down the UFO rabbit hole, you learn about, have you ever heard of element 115?
No, but I'm about to go down a rabbit hole if you keep.
Let's go.
Technically, it's actually, so funny enough, I started doing a little bit more of a deep dive, and scientists have actually stabilized this element. It's supposed to be what the fuel source that was powering like crashed UFOs. Well, this element is something that scientists have actually stabilized for up to like a quarter of a second at a time in, I think, like the Large Hadron Colliders, which is really interesting. And now you've got physicists like Harold White out there who are talking about negative vacuum energy density as the answer to that exotic material that Miguel Alcubierre described to basically achieve negative mass, which would allow one of these drives to work. And then he said basically what the problem becomes acquiring the resources to be able to build something like this, because it would have to be massive.
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those things that when it does get invented, you're going to be like, told you so?
It's going to be called.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be cool. I've always loved sci-fi for its ability to, or I've always
the Casbarro drive or something like that.
Nah, I think Miguel Alcubierre beat me to that when I was 4 years old. He had me,
but you have better PR. He's never been on the Fandalorian.
Great. Yeah. That's the best point you made tonight. That's fair.
That's fair.
I've also liked, like you were saying about sci-fi, when they focus on spending the time to make it sound accurate. I mean, as someone who, again, I love Star Trek, I feel in my heart, if I was on the Enterprise, I could run engineering, because it's always the same verbiage. They don't just say googly gock, and if you watch it deeply, the crystals, how it works. Like,
Futurama is really good with that.
It's very clear where if you watch another episode and listen, sometimes I remember I used to watch and they'll say things. I'm like, wait, what? That's not possible. And then a character say, that's not possible. I'm like, exactly. What is he talking about? Of just a gobbledygook that most people wouldn't notice. So I'm impressed you're able to spend time to build out your universe with enough detail so we can pull on that string every time because it's been established. I love that. All right.
Well, wait, hold on. Enough of this science mumbo jumbo. Let's talk about something really important. Let's talk about history. You introduced the concept of what you call the Coalition for Prosperity. This is like the government of this utopian society, right? They control who gets the Vitalerium. Now, how did you create a political system that actually feels believable without just grinding to a halt, explaining like how a bill becomes a law?
That's a good question. Once again, a lot of research.
That's because history is awesome.
History is awesome. I'll give you that, man. I enjoy it, and I think what's the saying? History doesn't repeat itself.
It
but
rhymes. Yeah.
Yes. And so I set out to basically structure a government in a way that was slightly more, still had remnants of checks and balances, but had slightly more authoritarian power, and set out to basically create fractures in that government that would ultimately, well, I guess we'll say fractures that stem from a more Machiavellian type character's ambitions as they continue to be enacted. And that starts with Initiative 919, which is basically the antagonist's like brainchild toward achieving his ultimate goals. And so he basically intends to remove all obstacles to his ultimate rule. Once again, to do that, I mean, I pull from a lot of different, I guess, concepts. Some of them very real, some of them historical, some of them edging on a little bit, conspiracy theory. And I mean, we're in the far future, and so anything's possible. The goal of the government was to basically show like an elongated representation of the saying, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. And so you get to follow some of the politicians as they are facing the cameras and all the, as they're in front of crowds and all the things that they're saying. And then you get to see what they're like, in the backroom meetings and kind of those closed door, let's talk about the real plan type meetings.
That's where I am right now. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. That's the part I'm in right now.
You're in the room where it happens?
Yeah. This morning on the ride to work, I was listening to the part where the governor kind of gets caught up in a situation.
Yeah. Yes. And did you see how that chapter ended yet?
Yeah, I'm past that part now. Because now I'm in the part where Roman and the daughter are now getting ready to go on to the job that the guy wants them to do first. But yeah, there's that backroom politics that you see, and how one hand washes the other, so to speak.
Right.
Times may change, politics don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's complicated business maintaining a civil society.
Yeah.
And you see exactly what lengths he's willing to go to basically eliminate obstacles. And one of the things that I think it's Arpin Delgado's character. He says something that they're talking about how the antagonist is a young ruler, because relatively speaking, he's supposed to be like in his late 30s. He's a young ruler to be in charge of an entire planet. And one of the quotes from Arpin is, he's young. The young are always more drastic with their actions. They're always more radical, essentially. And you get to see that very clearly with Xeris.
I actually have a question that is very uncharacteristic of me to actually ask.
Especially you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a sports question, which
All right, what do you got?
He doesn't do sports.
I don't do
It's
sports
weird.
at all.
We're stunned. We don't know where this is going.
In any book, Harry Potter, you have Quidditch, you know, you have sports and games that are in movies and stuff. So you were very early on introduced to the main character, Roman, playing a sport.
Guanaton.
How long did it take you to flesh out? And in your mind, what sport were you thinking about? Because in my mind, I have an idea of what the sport would look like, kind of, but maybe I'm way off. How much time did you put into thinking about what was the sport he was going to be when he was playing?
That's a good question. A decent amount of time.
Mhm.
I wrote out rules and things like that for the game, and
See, that's what I
different
wanted to
elements of
know.
the
It's like,
game.
how deep did you actually go to realize, oh, I don't really need any of that in my in the story?
Oh, Guanaton's not done yet. It comes back in book 2.
Okay.
And it's almost like a mix of, I would say, like a lacrosse adjacent game with.
I knew it.
Who-
I was thinking
who-
of myself lacrosse because you're talking about they play with a sling and
Yeah.
you know, they're scoring and passing and, you know, obviously shooting, and they was dodging and blah blah blah. I was like, this sounds like lacrosse, and I knew you grew up on the East Coast of
But I never
Northeast.
played lacrosse. Believe it or not.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
I never played. I was a pole vaulter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go on.
So
So
anyway, you mentioned who was it? Was it you that mentioned Starship Troopers?
I was Pat.
McDonald.
Pat.
Close
it's
enough.
Great movie, by the way. One of my favorite sci-fi movies. Do you remember the football game that they're playing and how absurd it was? They're doing like front flips over
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
defensive line and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was like, all right, that was cool, but what can I implement in this game to facilitate that type of absolutely wild athleticism to make it a little more plausible so that they're not just like, you know,
Comedic.
yeah, exactly. And so I started implementing the solid state hologram technology, which is one of the things that it's basically a hologram that you turn it on, you can touch it, you can interact with, you turn it off and it disappears. It's gone. Whatever that space was that had actually some kind of physical obstacle is no longer there. You can walk right through it. And so I added these platforms. So they're holographic platforms that you can actually jump onto. And then the holo charges, which are almost like these little spherical objects that you would throw either to augment your offense, so augment your advance, or the defensive ones, which would be to either restrict or, you know, kind of bind your opponent. So while he's playing Guanaton, one of the defensive players throws a binding charge at him, and he misses it. It hits another guy, and it wraps him in like this holographic cord, and he just falls to the ground. And then Roman throws a bounce charge onto the ground, and it illuminates this space on the ground. And when he jumps on it, it actually launches him up onto one of the platforms. And so I created a type of, I guess, a type of facilitating element that would really make a kind of a wild game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was definitely like, as I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself, I really wonder how much thought you went into, like how into the weeds that you kind of went into it yourself, knowing that maybe the reader is not going to get exposed to all of that. But I was just like, I bet there's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there are 6 more books to go.
Yes.
Yeah, Nick is an incredible planner. I can see
Mhm.
it. I love it. Final question from me, and I have to start with an apology, and that's to Mr. McDonald. I've spent years on this podcast, I think almost 4 years, hearing him say history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. And I mean, and Mr. G and I have had side texts like, yo, how many times are you going to keep making this up? No one says that. That doesn't exist. How many lies are you going to tell? Why does he keep making this up? Oh, he's trying to bring it back. No one's put it on a t-shirt. It's not going to happen.
Well,
so now
hold,
that you
hold on,
said
Mr.
it, hold on,
do
let me
you,
finish.
do you know that he's actually paid? He's played by an actor. I'm paying him to be here just to win this argument.
There is no book.
Yeah. Like it makes sense. Pulls off one of those Mission Impossible masks. Like, it's your wife. Just the whole time. Lauren. So anyway, apologies. I guess the actual term exists. I'm wrong. The second, there was no side text, or was there? The other thing for me, one of my favorite things in books are characters. I'm a big character person. I love the world building, and even when I write my own things, I haven't published anything yet, but you know, if I do plays, whatever, for me, it's like a character. And then the world will build around the person. Like, oh, if the world's like this, then he or she will act this way and this way. And that's just how I think of it that way. Because the characters always hook me. So tell me, and then I didn't get to read it as Mr. G did. But when you were telling us a little bit earlier about Roman and Matthew and things he's into, and now little underworld, and now he's got to work with people who are not shady and shady to get out of a situation. I'm also a big fan of just people who normally would not get along well, forced to work together for some other purpose. If that's what's happening. And that is always fascinating to me because listen, we're not friends, but we're doing this. Tell us a little bit more about the character. Why are we going to like him? What's great that's just going to pull us in? We were here about the world. We know the world. How does he fit into this world? Just tell me more. I want to hear more about the character.
Specifically Roman?
Yeah, specifically if he's the main, just specifically in how he threads this world, so to speak, without spoiling anything, of course.
Yeah, sure. So Roman is, you get to meet him both as a young teenager and as an adult. And you get to basically witness the drastic events and the kind of the harsh world that he's thrust into that ends up forging him into this hardened roughneck, this mercenary. They call him a freelancer. And so you get to see how he was when he was a kid. He was a very normal kid. And then you get to see who he is for the majority of the book. And he is, like I said, definitely morally gray. And he's definitely someone who has experienced the dark side of the world that he lives in and has been exposed to how cold life can be under the Coalition for Prosperity. And at times he's even unlikable in the beginning. But I wanted to make sure that I wrote it real. Like this guy is a mercenary who is, like I said, lost many people that he's loved, has lived a hard life, and has become pretty talented. He's developed quite the talent for violence, but he's still smart. And there are still, you see inklings of kind of the goodness that it's still kind of preserved inside him, even if they're on the back burner for most of the time.
Right.
But if you kind of look a little deeper, you realize he's a lost soul. Like he's trying to drown out his past in basically whiskey and women, and he's just living in a kind of a life of escapism. And you get to see how these circumstances that he's thrust into as an adult ultimately bring him on a new path toward a rediscovery of purpose. He's going to, character development is important for any good character, right?
Yes.
And so you're going to start to see basically the cusp of that character development initiate in book one. And then he's going to continue to evolve over the course of, the 7-book story arc.
Love it.
I've talked to some people in the past who have been they've almost seemed confused. They're like, well, he starts off and he's kind of a jerk, and then he ends and he's only like slightly less of a jerk. And I'm like, well, he's like, if it's real, it reads, right? If you want to immerse someone in your story, you can't be pandering to people, and you can't be so vastly unrealistic, especially when I've gone through all the trouble to create this kind of realistic vision of the future, or pseudo realistic, or what have you. And so if you're say, like, give or take 29 years old, and you have lived an unimaginably hard life, that's not going to get turned around in the course of 3-4 weeks, which is basically the entirety of the whole book happens within like a couple of weeks.
Especially when you have a planned out story arc of seven books. You can't complete the entire hero's journey in one book.
Exactly.
And even in real life, like you said, within a 2-week period, that you may have glimmers and moments, but you're still almost the same person 2 weeks. But if you're, again, I don't know how the timeline between the next couple of books, but what I've said to actually students in my class and my own children at home is, if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, you wasted 10 years of your life. Like, we all have to grow and we have to change. So I can assume that depending on the years and whatever's going on, that they will be changed. But like you said, it's over a period of time. And, it should be that way. He should. And that's, like you said, you built this whole world that's based in realism. But you have a character by the end of book one, after one event, suddenly become 180-degree different. Is, it's not right. You're catering at that point. You're just trying to wrap it up.
Right.
So I understand. My opinion.
And no, I totally agree. And I mentioned that this was like a far future spacefaring odyssey. It is quite literally an odyssey that he is just starting. So I was fascinated. I've always been fascinated by mythology. I've always found that to be kind of an interesting subject, throughout school and maybe even after school a little bit. But I wanted to create an odyssey where you get to see the rise of a future mythological hero. And not just, the songs that are sung afterward and, glory this and glory that. No, the gritty truth of what is really happening during the events. You are in the front seat of all of these events as they're happening. You're getting to see them unfold. History is, going back to Mr. McDonald, history is not always pretty. Actually, often not. It's bloody, it's gory, and it is cutthroat. And I wanted to kind of give readers a view of that firsthand.
I, for one, can't wait to read this book. I am hooked. I cannot wait. I'm excited. Mr. G approves it, so obviously I'm in because Mr. G approves it, and you're here, so I'm in too. But I love the character. I like where it's going. I like the journey. Like Mr. G said, the hero's journey, or just how they are in the beginning, completely different by the end of the books, and then watching the moments from between, even from when he was a kid to now, through time, things change. You approach things differently. I love it. Thank you so much, though, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. This was
All
a lot of fun.
So before we go, all right, this is Nicholas Keating Casbarro, the author of the Vitalerium Universe. Now, can you tell the listeners where they can find this book?
Absolutely. For ease of shipping and everything else, it's on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon. It's easy to get a hold of.
We're currently on Amazon right now. We're being beamed live. They have it.
You can ship me directly to your house.
We'll be right there performing the podcast. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, BooksAMillion.com, anywhere you get your books online, you can get it. The audiobook is on Amazon and Audible for anyone who likes the audio experience. It is more like kind of graphic audio, so there's music, there's sound effects at times, voice modulation where it's appropriate. It's supposed to be like you're listening to a movie.
And it's not overwhelming, because we talked about, actually, our last podcast, how some audiobooks, because I'm an audiobook listener, are very overwhelming, and this one is not. It's very, like you said, there's sounds, but it's very subtle and very appropriate, and it doesn't take away from the narrator telling his story.
Thank you.
There you go, Mr.
I
G.
appreciate that.
Wow.
And then for anything else, if you go to VitaleriumSeries.com, you can get the books as well as the comic books. I've got 3 issues of the comic book out now, beginning to transition elements of the book into comics, and then even some parts of the book that I haven't written yet, those are being transitioned into comics as well. Got a whole canon planned out for that. And
Do you have any social media?
On social media, I am at Vitalerium Series on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, basically everything, except for X.
And so it's the same
at
handle
Vitalerium.
for everything, right?
Yeah, except for X. I'm at Vitalerium. I have too many characters.
It'll always be
name.
Twitter in my heart.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again today. Again, I can't wait to read the book. Mr. McDonald as well. Mr. G is going to get to that 80 or 99%. He's going to send you a random
100%.
No, but the 99% where you're going to see that key moment. That
Gotcha.
there. And then he's either going to text you or he's going to block you. We're not sure. We'll let you know. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. No,
I'll be on the lookout either way.
Thank you. Buses are in the loop. McDonald, can you take us out of here?
All right, it's time to pack up and head home. If you enjoyed today's lesson on pop culture nonsense, you can follow us at Instagram at Fandalorians.podcast, YouTube. You can check out all of our episodes on the archive. On Twitter or X, we are at Fandalorians Pod, TikTok at the Fandalorians Podcast. Email us, the Fandalorians mailbag at gmail.com, or you can text us at 631-494-3632. I am Mr. McDonald for Mr. G, Mr. Richardson, and our guest today. We'd like to thank you for listening, and we'll catch you up next time on the Fandalorians. Teachers by day, nerds by night.
Making it work. Nick, do you have fun though? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it's great time.
Talk over the music. I'm letting him talk over the music. He can do what he wants. He created the universe. He has that kind of power when you create your own universe.